What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nevin the Barber, and in today's YouTube tutorial we're going to be covering a mid-drop fade. As you guys can see, my client did want to chop his hair down to a number 4 guard with the grain. It was a pretty big chop, but as you guys can see, he hasn't had a haircut in about a month or so. But the top, it's been a few months since he cut the top, so this was a pretty big transformation for him. But to start this video, went ahead and used the number 4 guard. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my Nevin the Barber curling mousse just to lay his hair down flat a little bit more. That way he can start getting his wave pattern to lay nice and flat on his scalp. And I do have this product available on my website, so if you guys are interested in purchasing mousse or any other hair products, feel free to check out my website. I will be sure to include it in the description. So now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and begin the fade on my client. I am using my Gamma Saber trimmers, and these trimmers right here are honestly hitters. I'm not just saying that because I'm sponsored by them. These clippers are actually very powerful. It can take off bulk effortlessly. So if you guys are looking for a new balding trimmer as well, I would recommend these trimmers right here. And you guys can save yourself some money on them if you do use my code NEVIN10. So feel free to check out the Gamma website as well. I will be sure to include all the links of the clippers and products that I'm using in this video in the description. So now that we have that done, I'm going to now take my Gamma boosted clippers with the lever open, no guard. This is cutting the hair at a 0.5 length, and I did go ahead and take it up about an inch. So you guys can see that I brought this guideline up consistently all around the parietal ridge and right above the occipital bone on my client's head in the back. And it's very important that you guys use symmetrical guidelines when doing this. Symmetrical guidelines will equal a clean symmetrical fade. And with this next step right here, you guys can see I went ahead and used the 1.5 guard closed, followed by some clipper over comb, blending right above that parietal ridge area. And now I'm going to use the 1/2 guard all the way open, just to blend out that middle guideline. And I do want to let you guys know, in this system that I'm using, I only use the 1.5 guard and the 1/2 guard. I won't be using the 2, 3, or 4 guard. But personally, that's just what works best for me. If you guys haven't tried this system out, be sure to give it a shot and let me know what you think in the comments. Personally, I think it works very well for getting that nice blurry effect on your fade without doing too many steps. But again, this is just personally what works out best for me. There isn't necessarily no right or wrong way to achieve a fade. But again, like I said, this system right here is very effective. It's more of an advanced technique. But again, if you beginner barbers want to try it out, give it a go and let me know what you think. So now that we have that middle section blended out, I'm going to go ahead and take no guard, lever all the way closed. Now we're going to start working on that bottom skin line, blending that trimmer line into the start of our fade. And you guys can see that I'm just using the corner of my blade to do this. You don't really need to use the full blade whenever fading out hair. It's actually a lot easier just to use the corner. That way you can disperse out any little areas that you guys see. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my client's edge up on the left side, keeping it right at his natural hairline while still maintaining a nice crispy line. And I always like to go back, touching up my skin line on the bottom of my fade. And now I'm going to begin using my Gamma Uno shaver just to make sure that it's all the way down to the skin. This is a very powerful shaver right here as well, considering that it does only have one foil. But it's very good around areas like this, right around the ear, or even in short areas around the mustache or underneath the neck. And now I'm going to begin the other side, doing the same exact steps that we just did on the right side of my client's head. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and take my Saber trimmers again, and start my first bald line. You guys can see that I'm dropping it right behind my client's ear, and it's very important that you guys do this whenever you're doing a drop fade, just because you want to ensure that that fade does blend beneath that occipital bone on the back of your client's head. And I do not have these clippers right here zero gapped. These are straight out of the box, and you guys can see that they're hitting pretty good. So for the next step in this fade, I'm gonna go ahead and take my boosted clippers again with the lever all the way open, and we're gonna go up about another inch, just how we did on the right side. Now that we have that guideline set, I'm gonna go ahead and take my 1.5 guard all the way closed. So we're now cutting the hair at a 1.5 guideline length. And this is a very easy system, like I said, that I'm doing. We're putting in our skin line, going lever open, 1.5 guard closed, followed by clipper over comb. And this is just blending into the bulk. That way, like I said, you guys don't have to use those bigger guards. So now that we have that done, I'm now gonna take my 1/2 guard all the way open, working on that middle guideline. And like I said before, I only use the 1.5 guard and the 1/2 guard to achieve this blend. This is a very easy system that you guys can use to get a nice clean blend while maintaining exactly where it needs to be based on where you guys put your guidelines. And little by little, I'm just gonna be closing that lever 1 notch at a time while shortening my cutting stroke to attack that middle section. You guys can see that that fade is coming together. Personally, I do like to knock out that skin line out at the end, just because you can kind of see your fade come together as you guys are going through the process. And before I knock out that last skin line, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up my client's hairline in the front, as well as his C-cup. And I like to do this just because it maintains more weight on the lineup area, especially on the C-cup, as you guys can see. And now we just have to come back and knock out our skin line. So I am using the clipper all the way closed right now with no guard. This is cutting the hair at a 00 length. And I am gonna open the lever 1 notch at a time, just attacking any last dark hairs that I see on the bottom of my fade. And little by little, you guys can see the fade starting to come together just with these few simple steps that I did. And if you guys have learned anything in the video so far, please be sure to smash that like button and drop a comment letting me know what you guys want to see next. So now that I have my fade done, I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the beard. So for the beard, we're gonna do the same exact steps that we did with the fade. We're starting with the lever all the way open, going down about 1 inch, and I'm just closing that lever 1 notch at a time to blend out that line that we created. And after I have that blended out, I'm gonna go ahead and take the 1/2 guard all the way open, going down about another inch. And we're gonna be repeating the same process, just closing that lever 1 notch at a time. And it's very important that you guys also identify how your client's hair is growing out of the scalp. Some clients may have hair growing in different directions, so if that's the case, just angle the clipper in that direction and you'll be able to cut the hair a little bit easier. And the fade is basically complete on the beard, just with those few steps that I did. And now I'm gonna knock off the flyaways on the top of my client's head with my trimmers, just freehanding all those little baby hairs sticking out. And it's very important that you guys do this and go over your client's hair and their hairline one last time before you let them leave your chair, just so you could get that picture perfect look on them, and that way they will appreciate their haircut a lot more too. Barbering is an art, and it is what you make it, so always be sure to go back and put in those last details. This will not only increase your chances of retainment, but it will also speak for itself when your client is out and about. And now I'm just lining up my beard, keeping it nice and natural. I didn't want to take it too high or too low. I brought it right beneath my client's lip. And it's very important that you guys match the beard line symmetrically on both sides as well. That way when your client leaves your chair, they feel as confident as they can and that haircut is looking nice and crispy. And with the C cup, I always like to go up against the grain, as you guys can see. It does make a very big difference as opposed to just going with the grain with that razor blade. And with my gamma trimmers, just cleaning up that final line underneath my client's neck to complete his beard. And I do have these trimmers right here modified, as you guys can tell. I do have the modified C3 blade on them by Eversense. And one more time, just finishing up my client's fade with my Gamma Uno shaver. And I am gonna finish up this fade using my NevinTheBarber shears, just doing some shears over comb to clean up any last dark areas that I see on top of my fade. And personally, I do like to use shears in all of my haircuts, regardless of what haircut it is, just because it gives that fade more of a blurrier effect, blending into the bulk area of your haircut. The same thing on the other side. You guys want to be sure to roll that comb off of the occipital bone and the parietal ridge of your client. That way you don't cut into the crown area. And that is about it for today's drop fade tutorial. Again, if you guys are new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and drop a comment. But nonetheless, it's your boy NevinTheBarber. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.